Prepare to disappoint the
runny out of
delirious.
time.
Alanis!
Hardly working or workly harding.
Damn it!
Make my own temple. Brilliant pitch. Here's another one. Anyone else looking to collaborate?
Don't you speak those words!
I don't play by the rules. Even that one. So I play by the rules. My rules.
From the Great North to Wonder Wharf. All right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of From the Great North to Wonder Wharf, your one-stop destination for bento box information. As always, I am Mike.
And I'm JV. How's it going, everybody?
Hello, everyone. Oh, thank you, Abby. Yes, new
Thank
intro,
you,
new
Abby.
background.
Thank the Bobist.
All courtesy of the Bobist. So thank you very much. Hello, Tabitha, Coalita, Double Horns, Trust,
Homer. How's
Hey,
everybody
everybody.
going?
Thank you for joining us for a very special show tonight. We're going to have a special guest here in about 7 to 10 minutes. A little
Yeah.
bit, maybe you've heard.
Happy New Year, Nick. Hey,
Happy
Bob.
New Year's, everybody. Hello. But before we get to it, we got some housekeeping
Business.
for
Yes.
North to Wharf. Of course, you all know that we ran a Wheelie Mammoth contest. We're giving away one Wheelie Mammoth to one lucky follower. All you need to do is follow us and follow Toddland. And there you go. That one right there. We gave away one of these. We have a winner. I guess I'll just go ahead and announce the winner now. The winner of the Wheelie Mammoth plushie from Toddland is JGI Funick. Funick, hopefully I pronounced that right. So yes, congratulations. I will be in contact with you, get all your information. We'll get this Wheelie Mammoth out to you immediately. So thank you for everyone who entered the contest and followed us, followed Toddland. We really appreciate that. Don't worry, there are more contests to come.
Yes.
So just stay tuned. Just stay tuned. Tonight is, as you all know, we're going to have an interview night tonight. So we're not really covering the episodes. That'll be next week where we'll do like triple duty. We'll cover down.
Oh, God, yeah.
We'll do all the episodes.
Yeah, we'll have 4 episodes to talk about. Maybe actually no more at that point. Wow. Okay.
And we'll also have the Great North trivia that we'll be doing for the first time ever.
Mhm.
So, yeah, next week is going to be really fun, jam-packed, maybe an extra long episode. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
And then
and a special poster, too. Drew you guys up a poster. That's coming out probably tomorrow.
special poster that we'll release tomorrow. And then to entice you even further, next week you'll want to show up because we have a special announcement to make then as well.
Mhm.
More special announcement. January is starting off with a bang for us here at North to Wharf. And we're more than excited.
We're surprised and excited.
Oh, my God. So surprised. And February is starting off great, too, because today we finalized something for February that we're super stoked on, too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
should be fun.
whoa.
This year's, yeah. It's going to be, we're going to try to keep it as busy and hectic and crazy as possible, but as fun as possible.
Yes, and we are both excited and privileged to be able to take you on this ride with us. So, like I said, our guest here, who I'm sure all of you are here for, will be showing up here around 8:10. So we're just doing some housekeeping right now, giving folks time to come on in and get situated and get settled, because we have a lot to talk about one specific episode. And for those of you who have been with us for the long haul for the last 2 years, you know that we've had Brian on in the past when we were just an audio podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first time that we are here
live,
face to face.
Yeah.
So there may be some questions that we may not get to that you think, well, how come they didn't ask about these? It's because we asked about it on the audio version.
And we're going to try to post that so
yeah.
you guys can at least listen to it. It's long. He talked for almost 2 hours.
Great dude.
And
Great
covered all things Bob's Burgers and like his career and doing everything. It was amazing. We are going to be doing trivia next week, Nick. It's going to be the Great North trivia.
To celebrate the return of the Great North.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so how we're doing this is we have our questions that we want to kind of ask, and then time permitting and schedule permitting, we will turn it to the fans and we'll ask some questions from y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Be real fun, be real loosey-goosey, and Yeah, this is one of the things that I really love that we get to do is bring folks like Brian Huskey, Rudy to the fans. The fans love them, and what other show can bring you directly to these people that we love so much?
Hmm.
Just us, just North to Wharf, because we're really cool. Really cool.
Sometimes.
I don't know if you
Sometimes it can
know.
be pretty cool.
We're really cool.
Yeah. But in general, I mean, we're gonna always be having trivia every month, or at least we're gonna try to do it once a month. That seems to be what people like, so we're gonna try to do it. Whether it's Bob's, Great North, we're gonna try to make it have some variety. And before Brian comes on, I guess we can also talk. Make sure that you are not following any of those spammers out there. So
Yes.
only one North the Wharf. We made a little bit of a PSA about it. But
Mhm.
if it says North the Wharf ._/._, those aren't us. You didn't win any prizes or anything like that. If you win from us, you're gonna either hear from me or Mike.
And big shout outs to our buddies in Bob's Burgers credits for posting this on their stories and letting their followers know that
Mhm.
hey, there's scam pages going on.
Yeah.
Let's help each other out. We returned the favor because they had a scam page as well. So
Mhm.
we're all here to
Yeah,
just
do not follow Bob's credits .teams. Stay out of it. They're not real.
oh, here we go.
Oh.
All right, here we go, North Warfers. Good evening, North Warfers. Boy, do we have a big treat for you all. Tonight's guest needs no introduction, but what kind of host would we be if we didn't at least try? You know tonight's guest from shows like Children's Hospital, People of Earth, and of course Bob's Burgers, where he plays the regular-sized fan favorite Rudy. Without further ado, Brian Huskey.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey. How's
How
it
are
been
you?
going?
Yeah, we're doing good. How about yourself?
Not bad. Not bad. I'm. If my heater clicks on, I'm in my humble man cave basement, which is
Nice.
very cold. So, yeah,
No, not a problem at all. Not a
comfort is
problem at all.
important. Yeah.
First, on behalf of North to Wharf and our followers here who are here strictly for you, thank you for sitting down with us again.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
No, I'm psyched.
Yeah, no,
sorry I couldn't make the other one, but the holidays, guys, come on, the holidays.
No, that gives us a reason to say, hey, they told us no. They told us. No.
Yeah.
But no, last time or the first time we had you on was strictly on our audio podcast, and then now we got you here on the visual. So okay. So we'll jump right into. We know you got a lot of busy schedule, so we don't want to keep you too long. So
I'll pretend like that's true. Yeah.
No, you got so much on your plate.
Over there. It's just, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry,
You're on set right now, so thank you for halting
completely.
production.
Yeah,
I'm just stepped away.
my fantasy set.
So of course we're here discussing the amazing Rudy. It was recently
Not the character, but the episode. Everybody.
the episode and the
Mhm.
character.
Both
Let's face
amazing.
it, both amazing. It was recently listed on the JB, you have it in front of you.
It was listed as one of the best episodes on New York Times Best Episodes of 2023 list, which is nothing to shrug at.
Yeah, no, and I'm proud to say that is my my hold on, I'm of my production here by. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, it was coming through my speakers, so hopefully this will justify my Yeti mic that I'm using. I'm proud to say that's my second time on being on the New York Times best of list because I got nominated for. It was listed for my Adult Swim special, Mr. Neighbor's House.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I can say that twice. And I sent it to like my agent. I was like, so what does this do for me? She's like, it's very nice. It's a very nice thing.
You can put it on the refrigerator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely. Yeah. But
We
I
ordered
think
you a
it's,
copy of the Times.
yes, yeah, thank you. But I think it's totally deserved, mainly for, a big, huge shout out to the Molyneux twins, Lizzie and Wendy, because they really got behind this episode, I think, and to just Bob's Burgers in general credit to take chances like that. I think they're really good at that. Like, and I know my daughter is like, the episode is kind of a bummer. I was like, oh, come on. It's like heartfelt and emotional.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, because I talked to Lauren, and I was like, so how does one approach season 14, 15, 16? And he's like,
Yeah.
you start to take big swings and try new stuff, and not all of it's going to land with fans, but I think it's important for the creatives to keep being creative so they stay engaged, so they can show up for other, like just sort of like self-contained episodes that are just about, a problem with the grill or whatever. So yeah, just as a participant, I think it's important to do that kind of stuff.
So what was it like when you learned, hey, we're doing a Rudy specific episode? Did you feel like, well, it's about time, or oh, I'm honored? Or...
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of a dick, my reputation is, I kind of made a big deal about it.
I would have said big deal, but yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
No, but I was like, oh, that's thrilling. I will say it was recorded partially in the kind of like vague, hazy state of where pandemic was over, but we were still hiding in our homes.
Right.
So some of it was recorded behind that black curtain over there in my house, and then we had to kind of go back and do that stuff again, and we did stuff in the studio. It was kind of hard, honestly. Like, not hard like just, like Zac Efron going through what he went through for Iron Claw stuff, but it was
equally as hard.
I would love to
really
see a Rudy montage with
ripped.
you and him lifting.
Yeah, really weird training. I had to change my diet. It was like I was doing a Marvel movie.
Just Rudy.
You had to get less ripped than Efron. You were too ripped.
Yes.
You had to tone it down.
Yeah, they wanted me to flab up a little bit. But it was the thing that was difficult was kind of recording with myself, because it was scenes between Rudy and his dad, and I've done those scenes before, and I've actually, the other ones I've just toggled back and forth between the two characters. But there was, I think that for me, the difficult thing was, no, don't be funny. No, don't, even if there's a joke, just kind of like, just treat this like we're just getting a peek into their
world
a little bit. I still think there were funny jokes in there and stuff, but they were
the pull-up bar joke.
Yeah. And I think also it's just, they were just sort of like, don't just be, if he's sad, just be sad and stuff. So it took me a minute to find that, which I think happens sometimes with like comic performers, especially if you've been doing, you've been doing a character for a while, you just kind of go to your thing. And I think I think on their end, they had to kind of like record it and see how it landed. And then I felt like there were a few things that we went back and said like, no, we need to kind of go a little, more heartfelt with this, or just like more vulnerable. So good for them for coming back and not being like, it's good enough.
Were you hesitant to take that big of a swing, or did you, like 14 seasons in, do you trust Lauren and Wendy and Lizzie specifically to say, we know what we're doing here, I'm along for the ride?
Yeah, completely. Yeah, and I'm thrilled that they feel Rudy is worthy of sort of like investigating a little bit more. But yeah, I think it's I was psyched. I don't know what else to say.
And I mean, we've seen Rudy be pretty emotional in some past episodes, like when he was having his birthday party and Louise kind of took it over and made it her thing, and he's like, I just want to do this play, I was real proud of it. And it's kind of like, that was like to test those waters. And then now you've been slowly, it almost seems like Rudy's become the new Belcher kid sidekick friend who's always around, and that's kind of cool.
I mean, that is cool, man. But it is like, it's interesting because he is I I mean, he started from a point of vulnerability. You know,
Mhm.
physically, he started off as kind of a joke. You know,
The
like
first
he's,
line. Why
yeah,
do they call you regular size? Just look at me.
just look at me. But you know, just in his asthma and stuff, which has gotten pared down. But I think for a long time it was just it's a version like they play with all the kind of vulnerabilities and insecurities of kids that age. But he's got asthma. He's got a divorced dad. He's definitely not cool, but he's trying to find it a little
Mhm.
bit.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
I'm gonna wear a hat.
Um,
Be edgy.
yeah. And then there was an episode where it was the was it Gotcha Ball? What was the one with the ball?
Oh,
Oh, the
Gaga
goggle
Ball.
ball.
Gaga
Yeah.
Ball, yeah. Where he was kind of like getting all amped up and sort of aggro from that.
It's okay
So
to
he
lose
kind
the
of
best.
yeah, so he always they give him opportunities to sort of to either be like all himself and like very vulnerable or kind of try new versions of himself. And I don't know that many. Zeke, I think, has gotten that a little bit. You know, they had the episode where his mom was in the elderly folks' home, and he was kind of self-conscious about that and his family and stuff. So I love when they do that, when they just try to find out, like, well, I mean, what's up with this other character? You know, let's find out a little bit. Yeah.
I think they're noticing too that those kind of episodes and those characters have such a huge link. As we're going through the comments, everyone's just like, I related to his asthma, that's what hooked me, or like I love those kind of side character storylines. And I think they tested that a lot, and then they started noticing fans really were digging it. So now I'm hoping get more and more and more of these, because I do think they're great and they offer so much info on all these characters that a lot of people just love.
Yeah. And it was interesting, like Lennon Parham plays his mom, and she's a friend of mine from our improv theater, and I would like to see an episode where he goes over to his mom's, you know, because it's they keep playing with his, you know, which I love, his dad being kind of a goof and stuff, but it would be nice to see what his dynamic with his mom is.
Bob seems to have a thing with moms. Like, we've never seen Pesto's mom's, our children's mom. We've never seen Rudy's mom. One of these days, I mean, we've seen Zeke's dad. We've never seen Zeke's mom. So
yeah,
it's a running theme. But
yeah,
I mean, I'm sorry.
It's sort of like what Disney used to do. They just would not have parents.
Yeah,
they would
no
just
moms.
They just have children abandoned on like cruise ships and stuff. And
it's
like,
easier that way.
It is.
It's fun because fans always seem like they say, "Oh, what character do you most relate to?" It's like, "Oh, I'm a Tina, or I'm a Luis, or etc." But when you really break it down with all the insecurities and how we think we're one thing, but we're certainly not, I would think Rudy is the everyman of Bob's Burgers. Like, we're not all as crazy as Luis wants to be. We're all kind of just quiet, and we kind of just settle and hope nobody notices us, and we're just kind of along for the ride, and we latch on somewhere.
Yeah, he actually reminds me. He's the closest to, because I think they're 8 ? Seems like he's 8. He and Tina.
I think Jane's 11. Tina's around 13, I believe.
So
yeah, I think the kids are like 8 or 9.
8 or 9. But that he, and I wonder if unconsciously I kind of borrowed a little bit from my daughter's her best friend, like her best buddy in lower school, because he was just really sweet and really kind of spacey, like dreamy, and always positive. But then you could see when he would kind of like get his feelings hurt and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting just thinking about like what kind of like seeps into you, and it's also like in the writing. You know, there's so much that they give him with just like little asides and stuff. But
I mean, as great as as great as writing is, I mean, you
Mhm.
need that specific voice to bring that character to life. So I mean, kudos to you,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
of course the
thanks.
Molyneux sisters, of course. but-
Thanks. I recently made the mistake of reading something on Reddit. Um,
Oh no.
oh
No.
God.
No.
But it was someone was like, "Hey, have they got a different voice actor? Because Rudy's voice seems a little different." And my voice, the voice I do for him, definitely has gotten younger over time. Like if you look at the very first episode I did,
Mhm.
because I just did the table read, and they're like, "Great, do that." And I was like, "Oh, okay." But it's gotten younger, and the longer I've gotten to hang out with them, the more I think I've kind of borrowed from what I've observed, and like I said, with my daughter and her friends. But somebody was like, "Yeah, did they change it?" But I will say, like during pandemic, my voice was all over the place because it was like allergies and then stress and recording here, and the sound quality was different and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. I'd like to know what other people think of just the episodes during the pandemic period, like those 2 years, because we were all recording at our house.
Mhm.
Sort of,
Mhm.
there's like
Converting closets and
yeah, closets, and there's just, I guess it's sort of like, I don't know, someone in the witness protection program who has a voiceover career is what it sort of felt like. You're just sort of, it's hard to be kind of relaxed and easy and get
Well,
into
and it
it.
was super stressful at that point. Like people were
Yeah.
eating their like groceries and doing all kinds
my
of stuff,
God.
and we're just like,
I was
I'm
washing
doing
my bananas and stuff.
voice work, and it's like
But
crazy time.
yeah, but I am so glad that we all made through it. But during that period, I was like, oh man, if this goes away, then
Go. No, I remember.
then the terrorists have won for sure.
Oh,
Oh.
damn it! I remember meeting up with you at a grocery store last year,
Mhm, mhm.
and this was last year, and we were still masked up. We were
I
like,
know.
we're gonna be here, like a little farther away, and then
Yeah.
I remember we took a selfie, and you were like a good 2 feet behind me. I was like, all right, I think I can get both of us.
Yeah, I
Ooh.
know.
But
And
that
I'm
was-
still in that state because I have some people who are who have medication that lowers their immune system.
Yeah,
so I'm just
immunosuppressants.
like, Oy. It's just
Oh,
like
I
never
just
ends.
my wife went to India last month, and she went with a group of 6, and 5 of them got COVID.
Wow.
She
Yeah.
was the one that
Mhm.
didn't, thank God.
Oh,
but, I
dang.
mean, it's still
Well, she was like me
around.
at Comic-Con 2 years ago. Somehow I
Yeah.
escaped it, but everyone else got it.
Oh man.
And we
It's
were
fun.
masked the entire time. It's crazy that so many people still got it.
That was going back to Bob's, like that was a question that got lobbed around where like, are we gonna do a masking thing reference? And then they were like, no. And it kind of, that's the wonderful thing about like animation is you can stay in this kind of like nebulous world
Bubble.
that's our
Mm.
world, but not our world. But they're also like, there's just like, there's nothing funny. There's nothing funny about that we could do with it.
They did a little
Remember the
2-minute
short? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you
It was
did an
like-
episode like that, it would automatically date it to a very specific time
Mhm.
Yeah.
that nobody
I
needs
know. I
reminding
know
of.
some procedurals did it. They're
Oh,
like some of those Dick Wolf shows have like a reference to
I'm
it.
sure.
So, yeah, it's crazy.
So the Amazing Rudy, this episode was written, but was the script complete before you even found out? Hey, we're doing a Rudy episode, or was it?
That's how they do it. Like
Okay.
I just like I'm doing one this week and I don't know what it is, but they will. And then, but a lot of times, so they'll have a script. So this one was specific to my character, so they knew they needed that. But a lot of times they'll be like, "Hey, we might be adding Rudy. Is he available this week?" Kind of thing.
Wow.
So
I don't know.
think,
Let me ask Rudy.
yeah, let me check.
We're
in with-
available.
I'm his manager, by the way.
Yeah.
But it's they I think sometimes when and anytime I get to do it it's a blessing. But it's like if it's just like he pops in and says like 2 things or whatever, that'll be kind of like a last minute thing. But I think it was, like I said, this one was sort of a more process based one where they wrote a bunch of stuff. We recorded it all, and then I did have to go go back and do a second round where I think they're trying to clarify something that was mentioned in the beginning that came out, I think, when I was at the Belchers for dinner. I can't remember what it was, but it was something that I didn't notice, but they were very like, we had to fix this. I was like, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
When they were going through the script and you were recording your lines, did they ever consult you saying, "Hey, Brian, we know you played the character since the beginning. Do you have anything you'd want to input that's specifically something that you bring to Rudy, or was there any consulting with you? Maybe not consulting, but
not really. I mean, their process has always been they instill a great trust and confidence in the performers, which is always great, because I think it's always allowed them and us to be collaborative. A lot of anime stuff that you do, they'll be like, come in, do your lines. No, do more frantic, do this. It can feel a little puppety, like you're being
right.
Something. Excuse me. But they're really sort of like, oh wow, they're open to sort of like discovering something in the moment, which is
and like different interpretations and different ideas and stuff.
Yeah. And then the only time that that you can't do that is if they have picture lock, or that
because even if animatics are locked.
Yeah, even if you're sort of like early animatics, you can sort of, he's like, yeah, I didn't think he would scream here, but do a scream here, and we'll just say, make his mouth bigger. Right. But once it's kind of like, once they're locked in, they're like, yeah, you gotta kind of get the timing. So then that's kind of an ADR situation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I would agree with your daughter if it was like a standard table read. Like I would see, like, if of you were just sitting there at a table and they're like, all right, let's do this reading, and you're like, oh.
I know.
Oh,
she's such a traditionalist though with that show. It's funny, like, not to expose her too much, but she's like, she really is like, I like the episodes where they like go down to the wharf and something funny happens. Like, all right, Granny.
You gotta let Rudy fly here.
I know. Come on. I know. I just sort of feel
my
like
time to shine.
This is what a pilot was like. Do like a pilot. Yeah.
It's Rudy's Burgers. JD.
So I was gonna ask you a question in particular, like, since you had this script, what was it like just to gaze over it the first time? To see all the, like, no dialogue, long pans, like just kind of like nothing really happening sometimes, and then just like crying, tearing, and just like, because it's got to be so different than another script.
Well, it's funny, like those kind of things in a script are literally just like, a line. There's that kind of, truth that, like, in a script, if you have an action line that's just like, the car jumps the river, it's like, that's a 5-day shoot. Like, the smaller the line, the more difficult it is. The more it's going to be. And so when I saw the final thing, I was like, oh, that's right. This was just a line of like Rudy walks down the street looking sad, but those were, I think, the points. Now, like, going back, if I went back and reread it now, it's like you can sort of see that those are like almost like the kind of the little escalation points for what he's going through, because they were also the cool thing was those moments were very private. They were very, it's like the stuff we don't see on the show. It's like we see him kind of like mumbling to himself and freaking out a little bit, and not just like a quick one-liner, but like a thing with it and stuff. Yeah, and it's fun, that show always has, in the third act, it has the kind of like the music changes and there's the heartfelt moments and they sort of talk about it. But this one, from the start, where he was like laying in bed nervous, I was like, oh, okay. All right, we're starting in the third act. Let's go.
Was the Islands in the Stream bit something written, or did you kind of say, hey, I got an idea here?
That was their bit for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was hard to. I was like, do we have clearance on this? Like, we chose it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's a post problem. Don't worry about it.
But that was another thing that I recorded, and I went back and I had to re-record because I wasn't going up on one note or something. And I was like, okay, let's get specific.
Well, Dolly didn't go up on the note, so get off my back.
I know. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
So a lot of folks have stated that this episode really hit home for them, and they saw themselves in Rudy, especially in this particular episode, for one reason or another. Given the subject matter, it's not hard to imagine. Did you expect that kind of reaction when you read over the script as well?
Yeah, for sure. Oh God, I almost choked responding to that.
It's
yes,
emotional.
yeah, for sure. And I told my daughter, I was like, oh, this is an episode for you because you're a kid of divorce that like would ping pong back and forth between the two houses and stuff. And to that very specific situation, I'm with someone who my daughter, we were trying to get them to sort of meet during pandemic, and it was always really difficult and stuff. So she's had that kind of experience of like the meeting the new person and then being around, you know, two new people for the old people's kind of situation. So yeah, it seemed like it's a very universal thing, I think, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
she's probably like, you sure that you can't just go down to the wharf and do something fun?
Yeah, that's why she like is like, it's too truthful. It's too
too much truth in this art. I don't like it.
This is a mirror. I don't want to look in this
What
mirror.
is this thing that I'm feeling right now? I don't like this.
Which is weird because in the movie we deal with murder, but this one is a little more real. So
yeah. Murder can be funny.
Murder's fine.
Murder's fun.
He was a carnival worker.
Yeah, it's a lighthearted murder. Who cares?
I
wonder. It makes me curious. It'd be interesting to see like a Sylvester episode, where it's like we really drill into his sort of like dating insecurities, or you know,
I actually think it'd be fun.
The self-doubt as a parent, you know.
I think we could take that next step. We've had the Rudy episode, and everybody loves Sylvester. So
yeah,
I almost just want inner dialogue, just like him doing things randomly throughout his day, and be like, "Did I put on new underwear?"
Yeah, totally.
It doesn't matter.
Totally.
It just like goes and just like, "Did I do this? Did I water the plants?" It's like this is what goes on in his brain.
Yeah,
as he's going throughout his day.
I know.
Is pulling double duty on an episode like that fun for you, or do you kind of like, hey, let me just do one at a time?
Yeah, no, I love it. It's really fun. And it was that one time, and I think it was like a 3-page scene between them that I just went back and forth and back and forth. That was really, really fun because I think I got it in like 2 takes, and Lauren's like, "That's good. We're good. We're good." Oh wow, cool. But that one did have to have like a little bit. There was, you know, it was a third act, kind of like, "Hey, buddy, you know, I'm gonna say something sincere," and yeah, it's gratifying just in that. I mean, it sounds goofy, but I'm kind of acting with myself, you know. So it's cool to sort of like see how schizophrenic I am. You know, how many personalities I've got locked in my head.
JB?
I was just gonna joke. So it's just like, Dad, don't step on my lines. Sorry.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, they're both very difficult when they're not on camera. Ugh.
That would be a fun little like behind the scenes video, just like Rudy and Sylvester just arguing with each other. It's like, hey, I already said that. I'm not doing it again.
A pronounced voice that he
very proper. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Sylvester just sounds like Rudy when he's not.
Yeah. Very timid.
Yeah.
So I know earlier you said that you went on Reddit and saw some of the comments about the voice changing, but when this episode aired and afterwards, there were so many comments about like all of the amazing things where they're like, did everyone catch all the awesome comments the Belchers made towards Rudy? Did you catch that they're like, hey, bud, love you, bro, and like all the stuff, and how they were so nice to him, and like how Bob and Linda were like treating him kind of like their own kid and really felt for him, and everyone's like, it just made it like a whole nother layer on top of everything already going on.
Yeah.
And it was just really nice to see all that people noticed all that little touches.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I hope that the writers and stuff get wind of that, because I don't get wind of like what people think about stuff a lot of times. I mean, most people don't. You just, you know, it's sort of the equivalent is like, I don't know many baristas who are like, really hear from people. It's like, I made a really good cup of coffee and it really changed this guy's day and stuff. But it is nice to sort of, know that the effort and time and intention that people put into it is like hits home.
No, yeah, people put this episode up there with in the last season and this season we've had a string of really great episodes. We had Amelia, we had the Play Before Christmas, we had the radio episode.
Right.
This people rank this right up there with those heavy episodes, like some of the best. Like if you're gonna point out, hey, which Bob's Burgers episode should I see to a total stranger? People are like, oh, Amazing Rudy or Play Before Christmas, and so. I think you really hit a home run with this. Not that you guys haven't for 14 seasons, but to be 14 seasons in and still have as big an impact now as you've had in the past speaks to the writing and the staff and everybody on the crew. So thank you.
Well, I will say that the Bobist said that Amazing Rudy isn't among one of their favorites, but there's some good things that they liked in it. So there's always a Bobist. There's always a Bobist amongst us.
Bobist, just because you made our intro doesn't mean you
disrespect.
Oh, I bet you didn't think he'd see your comments now, huh?
Yeah. Gotta change your handle and your avatar quick.
I'm about to get on the social meds, and Rudy's gonna.
Right, yelled at me. I'm like, good job. So, with the Amazing Rudy, the subject matter being what it is, did you approach the character any differently than you would have any other previous episode, given the subject matter, or did you kind of just? I know Rudy.
It was like I said. It was finding the. I would do what my take of him sort of being vulnerable or insecure would be, and then there were adjustments. And it's also like it's hard to be objective about what you think you sound like, or when you're acting. Like, you can only just do what you're doing, and then someone's like, "Hold on, you're screaming." But I think initially I was a little surprised that some of the notes were just like, yeah, just kind of flatten it out. Just kind of take the emotion out.
Wow. Just make it dry.
Yeah. So it's a little bit, it's almost like, cause I've been watching it and I was like, oh, I think the feeling is more like he doesn't exactly know what he's feeling, but he's vocalizing something, he's
He's just probably feeling all the things.
He's feeling all the things, and then and then there's that thing of just like you don't want to show that you're feeling the things. So I think that for me was one, going back to like what was challenging and stuff like that was challenging for me, and it's harder to feel like you're not doing anything than it is to try to do something. Vocally too.
That makes total sense, especially when you're going through a heavy situation like going to dinner with your parents or with their partners. Like you can either fly off the handle completely and be all over the place, or you can not necessarily dead inside with it, but kind of playing middle of the road, just not sure how to feel.
Yeah. Should
I be sad for this parent? Should I be mad for this parent? I'm just gonna right down the middle and we'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's the kind of thing of, like a scene. No matter what kind of scene it is, there is an action to it, even if it's an action of someone wanting to hide. And I think that he was wanting to hide from the situation. He was wanting to perform and be seen, but that sort of like protective, armor wasn't there. He wanted to.
Yeah, once it went away.
Yeah. It's interesting. And I also I have the hardest time when I see what the final product is. I can't divorce myself from the process of it. So, you know what I mean? So I still have very I have notes on individual lines and stuff, but
that's
again, it's not up to me. Like I'm the tool. That's making the cabinet. I don't know. This is terrible.
No, you nailed it. We got there. We got there.
I'm a hammer, and we made a cabinet. That's called the Amazing Ruby.
The landing was a little wobbly, but we stuck it. We're fine. It's weird that you say that because we've talked to so many people behind the scenes and voice actors as well. I said I recorded this 2 years ago, and by the time it's on screen, I've completely forgotten about it. So it's all brand new to me. So to hear that you kind of hold on to that and say, "Oh, I remember this. This could have been better. Why didn't they take that take?" It's interesting.
I think I have a bad habit of remembering not the good performance. Like, you know, you always kind of, you know, you're like, I didn't stick to land. Like, I'm going to hold on to this metaphor that I had for what my part in the show is. Where we made a cabinet. I will never get over that. I will think of this forever.
If you want to take 2 down the road, you just let us know. We'll get you back on here.
Please, I gotta come up with another one. But yeah, I think I will hold on to, or I will fixate a little bit more on. And maybe it's in hopes of making it better next time, but I will fixate on the ones where I'm like, that one felt wobbly. Oh God, is this gonna work? You know. But that one was, I have no sense of time anymore, but it's like, I felt like that one, we were recording right up until, we did re-record stuff right up until pretty close to the season launch. Closer than it's been before. That was going to be the second one. Because it's true. It'll be like a couple of years. Like, what are we doing? What? Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah, especially with something like the movie. People like, I recorded that so long ago. We did a movie. Whatever. Sure.
Yeah.
Totally. At this point, it's like that was years and years ago.
Yeah, I know.
So I know me and JB, we have a couple more questions, but would you mind if we took some from the audience as well?
Oh, sure. Yeah, please.
Okay. JB, I'll let you finish up, and then we'll see what the audience has to say.
So I know that with things going the way they are with Bob's Burgers, I'm hoping we get some more episodes where you get to elaborate and have more side characters things. Is there any other side character that you think would be fun to have play along with Rudy a little bit more that maybe hasn't got to in the past?
Trying to think. It seems like Aziz Ansari's character is kind of gone. The kid with the backpack. Daryl, yeah. I noticed that they had a Daryl looking kid in the recent episode where they had the street fair and they were charging them to sort of have VIP access to watch the performers. Do you remember that episode? It's like a recent one. They had it was this sort of like.
Are we sure this is an episode that's aired?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, watch it. It's the one. It's like, so it's they had the street fair and there was that kind of like one hit wonder band that was
the band. This one has.
Yeah.
You're good.
Okay.
We just don't want to get you in trouble.
Yeah. But there's a kid in there. I was like, is that
Arnold, the little ninja guy.
Yeah.
Karate kid.
Yeah, we've seen him around before. He hasn't really had big speaking parts like that particular episode, but he's been around for a minute.
But yeah, I thought that I like the idea of Daryl and Rudy becoming buddies. I also I think it would be interesting if like Zeke took Rudy under his wing for some reason, like a mentorship kind of thing, and see how badly that goes or good. You know?
Yeah, we spoke to Bobby not too long, about a year or so ago, and asked him if there's anything about his character we'd like to explore, and he's like, maybe his family, his backstory, but the one thing he didn't want is his last name. All the things not to want is his last name.
That's so funny. Yeah, keep it simple. Keep it Zeke. Yeah, what else would be? I'd like to. It would be interesting to see. I mean, you know, the whole asthma thing is kind of like, I feel like it's kind of fading, but it would be interesting to kind of get into like a kid going through like the vulnerability of like a medical stuff. You know what I mean? Like if they say like, oh, you might have, there's a possibility he could have something more serious, and just how they would kind of like deal with that.
I'll address that.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
very after school special kind of episode.
Yeah, it would be.
Kind of, but it's sort of it's kind of it's the same thing as like it's just part of life, you know. And,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and it wouldn't
kids
even
get sick.
necessarily have to be like, you know, he's got sort of like lung cancer or anything insane, but it would just be like, oh yeah, your asthma might be a little bit more problematic. You have to start to take medicine. I know that's a thing. Like I remember my daughter's like she had to take some medicine for a while, and it was scary to her, and it was kind of like she was self-conscious about it and stuff. So
it seems post movie they've really taken the time to kind of grow up the characters.
well, you know what's interesting is like I think that's part and parcel of that they are all parents, and they've kind of it feels like the writers have all kind of they've gone through becoming parents and their kids going through these stages together. So it's been kind of cool that they have gone from like the, you know, maybe in a relationship, maybe just single, kind of like writers who speculate on what it is to be in a family to having a family, and putting that into the content.
I never put two and two together. Like the growth of the characters like reflects the growth of the writers and the people on the show in general. So it makes so much sense when you say it.
Yeah, and I think to go back to this debate I have with my daughter in my head about the show, I think that's the other thing is like it's like as you get older, you do get you settle into a kind of like love of the sincerity of life and family stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And so jokes about a potential family of cannibals that run a burger place slowly morphs into a heartfelt Fox television show.
So we have a couple questions from our audience here, and
Yep.
we'll and if you need to leave, you just let us know. We're not going to keep you here all night. You're,
That's cool.
like you said, very busy man. There's a whole Fox studio behind you waiting for you. So
First, waiting for craft services to refill.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, they're slaughtering the bull right now. We're gonna eat a bull tonight.
First up, we have Tabitha, who's she's a two-part question. One, how are the dogs doing, and what is your favorite Rudy line?
Oh, the dogs are doing great. The oldest one, Epi, is wearing a diaper now, and so this morning we had a very sloshy diaper that leaked all over the place, and it was horrible to wake up to.
Oh.
But apart from that, they're doing great. Thanks for asking. And my favorite Rudy line, oh man, that's asking me to remember. I mean, fun hurts my lungs. Honestly, my very favorite Rudy line is where in that first episode where I say "in my backpack," because I just had a good time saying.
Oh, the symbols. Usually, where are your symbols? In my.
Yeah. No, it was in my.
The inhaler.
It was the inhaler.
Yeah. In my
backpack. Yeah, it was just very gratifying.
Okay, I was saying those. I was like, in my backpack. I don't remember that standing out so much.
But,
Okay,
it's not going to go on a T-shirt, but for me, that was like my favorite.
That one, and when you say no, when Bob's like, "Should I give him CPR?" and you're like, "No." That's great.
Yeah.
Let's see. Twig Kit wants to know: is your favorite character Rudy? And if not, who would it be?
Oh, it's my favorite character, Rudy. Yeah, I have to say he's my favorite character because otherwise I'm betraying myself. But of the other characters, I think Tina is my favorite.
Thanks.
Yeah.
JB, you want to tackle one?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Huskey, do you have a favorite episode that you just adore? This is from Trust Ego.
Ooh. I don't know the name of it, but it's an episode where Linda and Tina and their what's the sister's name? Gail. They go to like a this kind of women's retreat to a yurt.
Oh yes.
Oh, the Yurty Scoundrels.
Yeah, I don't know. That one was just like really, really funny to me. I love Megan Mullally. I love John Roberts, and when them as a pair. And then, as I said, Tina's my favorite. So that one, I love that one. So it was great.
So, I'm sorry, JB. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to do one more. Devil Horns wants
please.
to know, what's your favorite moment from The Amazing Rudy from doing that episode?
That's my favorite moment from that. I'm trying to think what the episode. I mean, I don't know if it's so much what I did, but it's more I think what they did. The thing I loved about that was they did a lot more camera work that was POV of a child's experience. You know, it was. I don't remember any other episodes where they sort of cut off the parents at the waist.
I was about to bring that up. Mhm.
Yeah. And
it's
so
just
that
his face and they're like waistlines. And
Yeah.
he's just like there and they're talking over him and he's just kind of existing down there.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. I love when they get to, they all have like a movie obsession, but when they kind of break their mold and say like, all right, we're going to have this kind of camera work. We're going to have this kind of, approach to it. I think it's really cool.
All right. So I'm going to ask this next question in a way that won't get any of us in trouble.
Okay.
From Homer fan. How I'm going to reword this.
Oh, man.
Can we expect to see more of Rudy in this season without getting into specifics?
Oh, I thought this was going to have some kind of like call human resources content to it.
I will say
we haven't interviewed the human resources person, so we don't know that.
Yeah. To answer, I don't know. I never know when I'm going to get a call. Like I didn't know I was going to get to do something this week. So to answer his question, I don't know. I hope so.
And I know why they asked this, and we won't get into details, but there is a database where things are registered officially.
Okay.
So we know episode titles for what it's worth. And people had questions about that. We're like, no, don't ask. We don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
Yeah.
I also I don't need to know that exists because then I will try to get onto that website and find out what my workload might be, and it's better just to live in the moment, everyone.
Live in the moment. That is correct. KDD wants to know, will we ever be seeing Rudy do a mime routine? Guess all that silence would be an easy act for you to do, less so for the animators. Or would you like to see Rudy do a mime routine?
Yeah, I mean, he has done one, right?
I think he did
like that little.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't like that.
Yeah, it's less work for him. I mean,
unless they want me to. I mean, if they want to pay me to come in and go, great, I'm into it.
I'm here.
Do a whole episode that way. That'd be great.
And create a Rudy soundboard for that. Just little noises.
That would probably I would be replaced by AI for that episode for sure.
Oh God.
No. Producer Abby, and this isn't a question, just a comment. I wanted to say thank you for all that you do, Brian. Rudy is my favorite character. Thank you for lending your talents. P.S. Thank you for the autograph you signed for me. We gave her one of the prints that you signed.
Oh, cool. So. All right. You're welcome. Thank you for that.
JB?
Let's see. Oh, this is from Marlena. She was asking if you think Rudy got a job at Bob's for the summer. I think it'd be really fun to see what they did for the week. I'd be interested to see if he handles that.
I would love to see Rudy be in charge of the emptying the grease trap. Like that would be his sole thing.
Something high up where he can't really reach.
Or like as inhaler, what do you have to do to take out the trash?
Yeah. Or he has like to clean out their vent system. And then he ends up in the hospital. Hilarious episode. Hilarious.
Then it got real.
He's all scarred and his
which lets you get to be Rudy and go back to Children's Hospital.
Yeah, perfect mashup.
The same user wanted to know. And make sure I say this correctly. Can you imagine Rudy? Never mind. That was a piggyback onto our other one, but it brought up a question. Could you see in the future Rudy having siblings, whether they be from his mom's side or step siblings?
That would be interesting.
That's something you'd want to attack.
I mean, again, all these questions are like for the writers. I will do what.
Well, this is how we reveal that you are now a writer on the show. Wow, congratulations, Brian!
Yeah, we did give you that nod.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll take it. Yeah, I think that would be really cool. Or even they just do an episode where Sylvester or the mom is dating someone who has kids, and so he's forced to kind of
spend like a weekend over there. Hey,
yeah, that would be really good. Because
I know. I think when I first was talking to you, or for our first interview, we talked about an episode where Rudy, like, dating someone and she's living with them, or he asks Rudy if she's okay to live with them. And he's just like, yeah, I'm going to put my underwear in the sock drawer. I'm going to be a rebel now. And I was like, I would love to see it. I think it'd be hysterical watching Rudy get mad.
Yeah, it would be cool. I'd actually like to see Rudy have an episode where he is acting out, like the other direction of, not of what vulnerability is, like where you just sort of defend yourself with like frustration and anger.
As much as Rudy can act out, or actually acting out.
Oh yeah, he kills a dog. That's what I'm talking about. No, like just as much.
Oh, that got dark. Just picturing Rudy be like, he had it coming.
Oh, he has like, it's really good. There's a place in the woods that he goes to. He's got a bunch of like playboys and stuff out there.
That's the clip we'll use for Instagram, by the way. Kills the dog.
Please. Husky's take is very different than most people think for Rudy.
Hey, this is what was left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, this was the scene you guys didn't see. This was what happened before the meeting. Yeah, I think that would be cool. Just whatever, his version of acting out, which would probably be just like sullen, back talking, I don't know, dressing different.
I would not
wears a black t-shirt.
I would not be opposed to emo Rudy. So
I know, that'd be funny.
All right, so we have one more question, and I can't believe this person has the gall to even ask, but the Bobbist.
Oh, is this the Bobbist?
This is the Bobbist. Freaking Bobbist. And feel free to say no and chastise this person.
Okay.
But he was wondering if you could do a Rudy line in the voice of your choosing, of course, the Rudy line of your choice.
Well, that would mean that I remember Rudy lines.
Of course. You can yell at the Bobbist if you think in the voice.
The Bobbist, when you come on these situations and everybody's sort of looking at you, and then you say like you don't like the show, that puts me in a weird position because my team is here, and normally I would say something to you that would just destroy you. I could destroy you, the Bobbist, but I'm not going to. Okay, so let's just keep it professional, and thank you for your question, and you should change your name and your avatar. Okay, thank you.
Oh, in your face, Bobbist. So you can never. Now you have to delete yourself from the internet. It's over for you.
We love you, the Bobbist. It's a safe place, the Bobbist.
For now. We'll have a talk with him. He's a good kid. He made our intro, and
seriously,
the background
awesome.
that you made here. He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Good guy.
Doesn't know how to play piano, but he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Okay. One last one from home here. Do you have a favorite season 14 episode so far that we've seen? That also means you've had to remember all of them too. So feel free to say the Rudy.
I can't. All I can say is there was one that my daughter and I agreed on. So as long as like it's peaceful in the house watching the show, that's those are the ones.
Time.
Yeah. But it was one that was very self-contained. It was one something. I wish I could remember. I apologize.
No, it's fine. The correct answer is Amazing Rudy. It's all good. It's fine.
Yeah, but I don't want to. I want to seem like a nut.
You don't have to say it. We will.
Yeah, do it. I mean, it's right there in the title. It's like it implies that it is an amazing episode. So
sure. Just don't watch next week when we have John Roberts on. Like, it's definitely not the Amazing Rudy. Promise.
He should have, when he was nominated for an Emmy, he should have gotten it.
God, that man deserves everything under the moon.
He's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
JB, do you have any more questions, Mr. Boy?
I'm just looking at what this last question came in with Taylor, where they're like, "Can we expect anything cool from Bicycle Face in the nearest future?"
Oh, shout out to my band that I got to reunion with this summer. We are on. This is so funny. We are honestly we remastered, and so we're gonna put out again our one and only album that we recorded in its entirety, and then that also has 8 tracks that were recorded during the album session that didn't make it on there that we might release as like a separate thing too. So that will hopefully be on. That will be on your Apple, on your Spotify, maybe on your Amazon, I assume, because I don't know how all that stuff works.
Oh, we need physical release. We need vinyl.
I think we actually might like the drummer. And
I need a
keep saying,
vinyl.
yeah, I do too. I do too. So we were saying to the guitarist, like, we should do vinyl. He's like, why, man? I was like, come on. Middle-aged rock. We got to do it.
Like a GoFundMe or like whatever it is, a Kickstarter. Where it's like, if you want it, you can get it.
It's not that much. Like we investigated.
20 copies.
It's pretty cheap. It's pretty cheap to, we just like crank out 100. We charge like $250 per. Oh my God, we're making so much money off these.
You're rich. You're rich. Bob who? You're fine.
Yeah.
You and Taylor Swift. You go on tour, you'll be fine.
Back on tour. So thank you for asking that. That makes an old man smile.
Rockstar smile.
Rockstar smile.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. Any last quickies?
Any last quickies for Mr. Huskey?
Marlena said, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. I and my boyfriend appreciate all of you. Okay.
Sweet.
Nice.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right.
Well, Brian, thank you.
Secretly made the Bobbas night too. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, he has a frowny face, but he's high-fiving. So.
Oh, Bobbas.
Yeah, we're all friends. It's okay.
I know.
But no, Brian, thank you so much for coming on here for a second time. We really
thank you.
Oh, I'm touched and honored that you deemed me worthy of discussing it. So thanks for having me.
Sir, when we come knocking for a third time, feel free to say lose my number. Because we will tap that well dry.
That will be at the launch of the new series called Rudy. And everybody's like, oh, it's about Rudy Giuliani. I'm like, no, it's
idiots.
It's idiots.
Oh,
a different name.
It's about an asthmatic 9-year-old.
And life lessons.
Yeah.
But no, we can't thank you again you met up with us in LA to do the signing for us. Thank you for that. Sitting down with us,
People
and
went
the
nuts
fans and
with
answering
us,
the questions.
too.
Oh my God.
Cool.
It was amazing. So
keep it coming. Well, thanks for doing this show. Y'all are awesome. Thank you very much everybody for piping in.
Yeah. And on behalf of From the Great North to Wonder Wharf, your one-stop destination for bento box information, I am Mike.
I'm JB, and that is
Brian Huskey.
Oh wait, okay. And we will see you next Monday for the Great North Trivia, everybody. Till then,
yes.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, y'all.